What's up, guys? I got a pretty generous amount of stuff to show today. Actually, I feel like it's been a while since I've done a haul video, but here I am doing one today. I've pre-opened everything. I mentioned this in another video earlier, but at least for now, that's what I'm going to be doing for a very frustrating reason. Long story short, I was away for a bit. Had my mom coming over to, check in on my cat as I normally do, but she came across some stuff that she doesn't approve, and she ended up tearing apart my apartment trying to find more shit about me. I don't think she stole my scissors. That's the only real thing I can't find, but yeah. I mean, I suppose I could just get new scissors, but I mean, then once I do find them, what I'm gonna do with two scissors. But anyway, first thing to show, I got this at a recent show, and that is from the Pentagram string band. 10 god-awful ballads from the hopeless, strange, and ill-fated. So this completes my Pentagram string band collection. I have their most recent album on vinyl. I have their first album on cassette. I kind of can't remember like what order their two middle albums are, but either way, I got one of their middle albums also on cassette. And here I have this one on CD file. I think this is the only format that this has been released on, but there's not a whole lot to it. It's just a CD in a little slipcase. I do rather like that disc art, though. That's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, Pentagram String Band is a satanic bluegrass band. Kind of recently noticed that a lot of my favorite kind of, this is a broad, vague category, but I just kind of like, offbeat folk music. And a lot of my favorites have played in the area recently, like, Pentagram String Band, Yes Ma'am, and Goodwin Rayner were all at that same show. And then another band that I'm about to show later. Actually, I'm going to go and get into this part of the haul right now. But yeah, another band that I kind of put into that category is the Pine Hill Haints. So this is the CD I actually ordered from them. They put in a generous amount of extras. So this is Those Who Wander. So like I said, I recently went to a show of theirs, and I picked up some merch from them, as I have. I think every time I've seen them, it's only the third time I've seen them. I guess that's more than most bands that aren't directly from my area. They're a few hundred miles away, but yeah, every time I have picked up some merch from them. And yeah, I'm slowly getting through their collection. This is one CD I was hoping to see on their table, but it wasn't there for whatever reason. But I found their record label, ordered it online. So here's the disc itself, and it has an insert. Looks pretty cool to me. There's a bunch of different pictures on it. I'm trying to see, are these meant to be for each of the songs? Nah, this is just a bunch of show flyers, so that's pretty cool. It shows one show with this bike is a pipe bomb, who honestly I'm not that familiar with, but I know they're from, they were from the area. I think they're broken up now. They're pretty important and well-loved band. If you're familiar with 309 Punk House, I believe they actually started 309, so that's pretty cool. Let's see if there's any other bands that I recognize, at least by name, which I'm not really seeing any, but this is an older CD, so a long time ago, and track listing, credits, and all that stuff, so that's cool. And like I said, there were some extras in here. Something that's really cool, I think, is I actually have a kind of, it's not super high quality, but basically a printout poster of Ghost Dance, which is one of the most popular albums. But look at this letter that was written in there. Clayton, hey, thanks for picking up the early Haints release. In a lot of ways, it's our first record, although it's the fifth. It's sort of the first time found our sound. It best represents who we became. I sent a few extras, another band that me and Katie and I can't read this other name, Priya maybe, not sure who that is, plays with the Invisible Teardrops. Also my little brother's old band, the Nacho Shakers. So yeah, Nacho Shakers. So one of the CDs that I did pick up from them was a split album that featured this, and something that I didn't actually realize is that one of my favorite, what I've always viewed as a Haints song was actually a Nacho Shakers cover. I'm so bad at remembering song names, but the Rambler song, whatever it was. I have a live recording of it on my channel. I've mentioned before I hate these things, but I actually recently discovered a trick to getting them off easier, and that's to kind of do that, do that, do that, and do that. I'll just stick on my pants leg so I don't lose it. But yeah, this is called Shaker's Hymn. So, and obviously I'm going to reassemble it later. A couple spindle teeth broke, which always suck. But yeah, so we got a booklet. I've always preferred like the actual booklets to Master's Count on You. Yeah, I've always preferred the actual booklets, like, you know, the multi-panel inserts. Although, I mean, everything can be cool. At least everything can suck too, for that matter. But yeah, next up, this was a band that saw the most recent time saw the Pine Hill Haints. It's a side project of theirs called The Invisible Teardrops in Endless Winter. And I was had in mind potentially getting one of their albums at that show. It's just I wasn't that familiar with them. I don't know their songs that well and which songs are what album. So you know, there's a bit of frustration and confusion as to where to start. But I guess they have answered that for me, so that's pretty cool. Don't know, let's see, this is from 2018, so probably a earlier album, I would think. Yeah, they're kind of like a 60s style organ rock type band. Has three members of the Pine Hill Haints in it with slightly rearranged instrumental duties, and then they have a fresh drummer. Of course, if you're familiar with the Pine Hill Haints, they just use a snare drum, and they sometimes use a washboard, and I kind of feel like their bucket bass kind of somewhat replaces percussion a little bit, but yeah, this band actually uses a proper drum kit. Last thing I got is a vinyl record, and that is from Prodigy, Fat of the Land. I love me some 90s and early 2000s electronica. It's actually at a show, it was fairly long time ago, we'll say like 6 months ago, and I overheard one of the guitarists from one of the band talking about like how much he hates electronic music, and you know, like, bro, you're just not listening to the right stuff, you know. I love that, like, you know, like I said, 90s, 2000s shit. Yeah, I don't think it's on colored vinyl. I know there was a colored option that cost a little bit more money, but it's actually quite a bit if I remember correctly. I think it was like $5 or maybe even $10 extra. You know, I'm down to pay like, you know, a couple extra bucks or so for colored vinyl, but I just wasn't really feeling it this time, so I got on black vinyl. Nothing too special, like, you know, there's no gatefold, but it's got those plain sleeves, so. But yeah, that is all my stuff for today. Next show I go to, I will not be getting footage from. It's a ticketed show for Pedro the Lion. It's a house show, but it has the ticket mentioned that they don't want videos from it, so I won't be getting videos from it. I might be going to another show this Saturday, but I'm not 100% positive. Main thing is it's kind of a long drive, and there's only 2 bands playing. 2 cool bands, mind you, but like I said, you know, I'm not sure if it's I want to drive that far for it, so we'll kind of see how I feel that day. Then I'm a little bit more determined to go to another show this next Friday. I think it is first Friday of March with Kaiju, who I've been wanting to see for a long time. I've never been able to see them, never worked out for me. And Other and Glistener, which are 2 of the coolest local bands. So yeah, I'll definitely get footage from that, and I'll see how all that happens. I got more music on the way too, so keep an eye out for that too.